Secretary Donnelly, General Shorts, thank you and welcome for being here today. Um, Secretary, the Air National Guard is a cost-effective force of experienced airmen. Given our difficult physical situation, why does the budget request propose disproportionate cuts in aircraft and manpower for the Air National Guard?
Sir, the adjustments in our manpower were driven by adjustments in the force structure itself, in the fighter force structure and in the mobility force structure. Those changes were prompted by the adjustments and strategic guidance that we received that asked us to reorient geographically toward certainly the sustaining missions in the Middle East, but also look more carefully at Pacific priorities going forward, and recognizing that the overall size of the ground forces are going down. So the force structure adjustments that we proposed were connected to those strategic judgments and the direction from the department that we could take additional risk in the fighter force structure. And as we looked at the fighter force structure and the mobility force structure as well, the key issues for us were how to develop on a total force basis the right balance between active and reserve component capabilities, not just to husband reserve capabilities as a strategic reserve back in the United States, but on a total force basis, how to integrate the reserve components and the active forces with the ongoing commitments of the United States Air Force 24/7, 365, and also to be able to meet surge and sustaining requirements. And this is what brought a closer attention to the active and reserve balance. The size of our Air Force now is so small. As a result of the proposals that we're making here, we will be the size of the Air Force in 1947. When this Air Force was first created on the active duty side. So as we go forward together, our reserve and active components have to be more closely integrated, and we can't get either side of this out of balance going forward. I'd ask the Chief to add this.
The only I would add to the Secretary's comments is one of the principal considerations was what will the activity level be for deployment requirements that's both rotational and potential surge contingency requirements. And with a smaller force, you have to assure that you can spread that activity level properly across the entire inventory. And that suggested that we needed to get the balance so that the active duty would not be more busy than what we call a deployed to dwell ratio of 1 to 2. In other words, 6 months deployed, 1 year home. And for the reserves, not less than 1 to 4, ideally 1 to 5. And the reason is if we overuse any of these components, especially when the economy turns up, we will end up in a situation where active duty will not stay with us, and on the Guard and Reserve side, perhaps employers and family members and so on will see the activity level on the Guard side as too active duty-like. And so this was trying to get the mix right so that we could maintain the anticipated activity level without overusing either of the components, sir.
General Shorts, we look forward to hosting you at Ellsworth Air Force Base in May to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the base. Ellsworth has a proud history and will continue to play an important role for the Air Force. Looking to the future, is the Air Force close to issuing the record of decision on the Powder River Training Complex?
Yes, sir, we are. We got numerous comments from all interested parties on the environmental impact statement, some of which were not favorable. So we took a brief pause to digest those comments and make sure that the requirements that we had were what were appropriate and justified. We have concluded that work, and so we will have the record of decision is imminent, and we will publish that in the appropriate fashion, sir.
Thank you.